Autoline Daily is brought to you by Dow Automotive Systems, improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com.
Here are today's top headlines. Bob Lutz will leave GM. Toyota and GM dumped their NUMMI pensions in the lap of Uncle Sam. And now Chinese car buyers are hopping mad at Toyota. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Thursday, March 4th, 2010, and now the news. All good things have got to come to an end, and Bob Lutz made it official yesterday that he will be stepping down at General Motors. This continues CEO Ed Whitaker's shakeup of top management at GM. Except for those involved in the technical aspects of the business, all other top executives associated with former CEO Rick Wagner are being pushed out. In what I find a disgusting development, General Motors and Toyota are dumping their pension obligations for their former NUMMI employees in the lap of Uncle Sam. Both automakers say there is no legal requirement for them to carry those pensions since it was part of their joint venture called NUMMI, and NUMMI is being shut down. Reuters reports that they're dumping the pensions in the lap of the PBGC, the Pension Board Guarantee Corporation. To me, it's a dangerous development when corporations can say, hey, let's do a joint venture, and if it doesn't work out, we can always force the taxpayers to pay for the mess. And now it's Chinese consumers who are mad at Toyota for treating them differently than Americans when it comes to recalls. In the U.S., people who bring their Toyota in for a recall are given a loaner or are even reimbursed for their travel costs. In China, RAV4 owners involved in a recall had to bring their cars in, and then they were on their own. And they're hopping mad about it. They want to be reimbursed for their time and money, and some of them are even talking about filing a class action lawsuit. Ford is making history with its 2011 Mustang. The EPA just certified the V6 model at 19 miles per gallon in the city and 31 on the highway. That's about 7.6 liters per 100 kilometers. The company says it's the first car ever to deliver 300 plus horsepower and more than 30 MPGs. It looks like the car is going to be a real performer too, with a power-to-weight ratio of about 12.3 pounds per horsepower and a torque-to-weight ratio of roughly 13.4 pounds per foot-pound. Hey, you hear that, everybody? It's time for Recall Roundup! Wahoo! Here's some of the top recalls announced over the last month. Let's round them doggies up. And you better rope up some of them Avalons and RAV4s over there. Toyota announced the ones with V6 engines can leak. The oil supply line feeding the VVTi actuator can degrade and leak, leading to abnormal engine noises and turning on the oil pressure light. Next up, GM's recalling Cobalts and Pontiac G5s because the motor in the electric power steering can go out. Even though the Chevy HHR and Saturn Ion have the same power steering unit, GM says, tough patooties, fellas, you're on your own. They ain't recalling them. Nissan's calling back Titans, Armadas, and Infiniti QX56s because the pins holding on the brake pedals can fall out, and sometimes the fuel gauges don't work, and you sure don't want to run out of gas out on the range. Honda's recalling Odyssey minivans with power liftgates that could slam shut down on your head. Makes it sound as ornery as a Brahma bull being poked with an electric prod. And that's it for today's installment of Recall Roundup. Coming up next, we'll take a look at a car that would be perfect for skiers, except that it's not perfect for skiers. I recently got to test drive a Mercedes C300 4MATIC during one of our big snowstorms, and I got all fired up about this car, except for one thing. Here's my instant impression of the 300 Mercedes all-wheel drive. This is a car that is fantastic in the snow. It's perfect for anybody who skis, but come on in here, I gotta show you something about it. Most cars, especially German cars, have a center fold-down armrest to allow skis to pass through. But check out this one. But look at this. There's no pass-through at all. Come on, let me show you something in the trunk. Look at this. You pop the trunk. There's no way even to fold down the rear seat. So here is a car that is absolutely perfect for any kind of skier with no place to put any skis. Oh yeah, I could get a ski rack. Now I got to go to the accessories department. Hey, since we're on our crusade to promote power-to-weight ratios, I should mention that the power-to-weight ratio for the Mercedes-Benz C300 4MATIC is about 16.3 pounds per horsepower, which is a better than average number. Hey, don't forget to join us on Autoline After Hours tonight, where we'll be talking about all the management changes at GM, as well as the latest developments in the Toyota fiasco. Joining us tonight is Sharon Silk-Carty from USA Today, and that's tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. And that is it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.